But something occurred at the beginning of the Common Era, at the destruction of the temple, that made it impossible for people of that generation and for the 2,000 years that followed to really understand anything. That's the point at which religions appeared. That's the point at which speculation about how this world works, what the universe is, what the creator is, and so on, grew up in the imaginations of people according to a particular principle that leapt to the forefront within the human being in their development. And this quality within people prevented them from understanding it. Now, you have to understand that the world that we live in is not a world of causes. It's a world of outcomes. There is nothing that we do in this world that has any effect whatsoever on the upper world where our source comes from, where the things that we see in this world take their roots. No physical action has any effect on it. And that's why any of the things that we do in order to solve our problems here in this world have any effect whatsoever on their outcome. Only a connection to the roots, to the causal level of things, can have any effect whatsoever. Our reality as a whole is structured in such a way that there is a world that exists above, so to speak, and a world that exists below. And the language of branches points to what exists in the world below. It speaks about this object, let's say a family. You read about it in the Torah, and the Torah appears to be the story of the Jewish people. Well, a family will move to a location called a land. They're speaking about the abstract forces above that actually create these things and make them occur. And only a wise student can understand what's really going on here. This is the branch level, and this is the root level. So, unless a person learns how to read and understand the key to this language called language of branches, they will continue to see things as they exist in this world. And because of a lack of contact with the teaching lineage and the real methodology, people have still needed to know, but they've had to fantasize, they've had to make concoctions of things, and they've gone according to what they could understand without a correct teaching and without the proper inner properties that would allow them to understand it. And so a lot of myths have grown up. Religion is a phenomenon of disconnection from the upper force, of speculation and a misunderstanding. It's a way of making a direct connection with things that seem to us magical and unfathomable only because we, in our current state of awareness, don't understand how they work. And it's the same as if you brought a lighter to some tribe that lived on a desert island that had never seen any technology at all. You would be the god of fire, some mystical creature that can produce fire out of your hand. I mean, it's simply a matter of what is hidden and what is revealed. What is the meaning of life? And this is a deep and a severe question, because for a person who has this question, who cannot find the answer in what their traditions tell them, in what their science tells them, in what art and literature tells them, in what psychology tells them, a person who simply cannot be satisfied with anything but the answer to this question, what is the meaning of my life? This is a person who is ready to sense beyond the five senses. We live in the whole of reality. There is a totality of reality, and that's where we actually exist. Except that we have no sense of that. We have a completely restricted sense of what we are and where we are. So much so that we don't know what will happen in the next moment of our lives. We do not know why things happen, when they happen, where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. There exists a complete and total reality. And this reality is divided and reduced into a system called worlds. By means of 5 worlds, the complete reality, an unending light, becomes reduced to a brightness by which we can perceive. This first world is called the world of Adam Kadmon. The next world is Atzilut. The next is Beria. Then the world of Yetzirah. Then Asiya. You can think of these as levels of consciousness. Closeness or distance as it descends from this complete reality, from connection and awareness to it, until finally we reach a disconnecting point called Mahsom, or the barrier. These are spiritual worlds, and below this barrier is our world. Here we have absolutely no sensation of the spiritual worlds, of the place that we actually live and where we came from. Here we have limited sensations that are called corporal or physical. This complete light and whole of reality, by which, if we knew this and was connected with it, we would be able to direct our destiny. We would stop making mistakes. We would understand the forces that guide us. We would become connected with them to such a degree that we would be able to live life in its fullest and for the benefit of all life. So has this force, this complete reality, been purposely hidden from us, reduced through these levels by a system of 125 steps into this world. Is meant for is to allow a person to trace their steps from descent into this world back through 125 steps all the way to our root in the spiritual world, our source and connection with the total of reality. But in order for us to be able to achieve that, this benevolent force, which we call the Creator, has purposely created a system for us. In other words, this map of creation is not the end of creation, it's the halfway point. It's a process by which we descended from our roots in the spiritual world to the state that we're in now in order to fulfill the plan of the creation itself, in order to rejoin this total of reality. All of the books, including our Torah, Mishnah, and Gemara, speak only about the states that are found at these levels, both of the reduction as our soul fell from this complete connection, and of the states that we find on the ascent back up. And the method is the means by which a person can begin to sense and enter the spiritual world. Now, in order to do that, a person needs to be taught what they are made of, what it is that prevents them from the entry into this world, and how they can gain a sense of the spiritual again. And this takes a very special material, very directly created for the purpose of allowing a person to enter the spiritual world.